Hey there, how's it going today? So today is going to be core day training here in Eastern Kentucky. It's a pretty nice day, honestly. I think springtime is kind of starting to show itself. Um, it was started out sunny, and then right as the workout was starting to end, it was kind of starting to look pretty stormy. But it's still while I was working out, it was nice, and I can appreciate that. Temperatures were probably 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see, that's somewhere around 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, if I remember correctly. Um, Today was a really good workout. I'm very thankful that I've been able to progress like I have here recently. I'm very thankful that I made the decisions that I made in my training to kind of steer my training in the direction it's going. I'm very pleased with the progress I'm seeing, and today was a great example of that. My right shoulder has bothered me for so long, and I think that's from a lot of factors. I think I was trying to do a little bit more advanced progressions on different things than I was ready for, specifically exercises or skills like the one arm pull up. I was still having some irritation with human flag, though. That also involves a lot of one arm strength. Sometimes even push ups would kind of cause it to feel a little irritated. But I think a lot of it, was just improper form, overworking it. Not giving things a chance to adapt appropriately. And on top of all of that, I think I was also probably sleeping on it wrong. So over the past month or two, I have really tried my hardest to work on all those things, and I'm very pleased to say that I think it's really paying off. Um, my shoulder feels a lot better. It still doesn't feel 100%, and but it does feel a lot better, and my performance on all these various skills, I feel like has just greatly went up. Um, Today, you'll see quite a bit of progression on the human flag, the front lever. Um, let's see, my back lever. I've already been able to do a full back lever, but I hit that today. And on my last core day video, you guys seem to really like the dragon flags. So I kind of show. It's one attempt, one set, but it's kind of starting at more advanced progressions, and in that one set, I kind of go from the advanced progressions down to very easy beginner progressions. So check that out, and depending on where you're at in your training, there should be something that you could pick out and be able to do yourself if you have some reasonable athleticism. If not, then that's no problem as well. We all start somewhere. I was telling some people at physical therapy, shout out Blake and Reese and Ernest, if you're watching. I appreciate you guys checking out my stuff, and I very much appreciate you guys helping me with my knee during my times of recovery. But I was talking to those guys, and I was telling one of them, when I first started training, as far as a pull-up goes, because I really wanted to be able to do a pull-up. That was the first thing I wanted to be able to do. But I could only pull myself, about 3 or 4 inches off the ground for just a few seconds, just one time, just hold it for a few seconds. But that was the best I could do. I was 5'6", 217 pounds, and pretty much no muscle. And now, this morning, along with what I was just saying, we all got to start somewhere, was the point of that message. But this morning I weighed myself. That thing I just spoke about was about 15 years ago. But this morning, at my current moment in training, I weighed myself and I am 204 pounds, somewhere around 95 to 100 kilograms. And I am 5 foot 11 inches tall, almost 6 feet. I'd say I'm somewhere around, probably 18 to 20% body fat. I'm getting thinner. I'm very slowly losing weight, slowly losing body fat, and feeling better about myself. And that's what it's all about. It's having fun, being safe. Getting better at these various skills in calisthenics, being strong and healthy, athletic. I don't know if I've already said feeling good about yourself, but it's all about that too. You know what working out's about if you're watching my videos this long. But today was a good workout. I had great experiences, and kind of further refined some of the things that I said I was going to be working on. Here I'm trying, this is still warm up, but I'm trying something new with the red band. I may honestly want to go down to the blue band, which in my band set is one size, less than this red band. But I really like this new thing I've been trying. It's just to kind of help get the pectoral muscles and the shoulders ready to go for pushing. Very similar to that that pull day specific warm up I do, where I pull the band that you saw in the clip before that. But here we're still warming up some more. Check out, after these push-ups here, check out this handstand. This was my first attempt at the handstand today. So I really think, I've really been working on my handstand technique, my handstand form, because it was very sloppy. Well, look at this today. That's my first attempt, and I intentionally bailed there, because it's just a warm-up. I'm not trying to, set a PR, but it's just a clean kick up, straight to, center of gravity, straight to the balance. It felt very good. Didn't have to chase it down, so very happy with where my handstand progress is going right now. Here's the second attempt on that. It was a little sloppier than that first one, but it's still pretty nice. But again, this is just the warm-up. I think this next clip is where we're getting into some skill training. So this is going to be, I was trying to do a half lay front lever negative, was what I had in my mind when I jumped up here. And looking back on this, it was more of an extended advanced tucked, kind of somewhere between that and a half lay. I didn't quite get enough extension there to be a half lay. But this next attempt here, I go down to that blue band I was talking about. And I impressed myself quite a bit here. I was able to get a full front lever for just a second or two with this blue band. And then I was able, to slowly bridge down in progression difficulty in one set to maximize the form, the technique, my safety, and time under tension. So you'll see me kind of bridging down there. I'm shortening that lever. And that's something I really love about calisthenics, is it involves not only a lot of strength, it involves a lot of coordination and athleticism as well. But along with that, you'll see me showing there, you need to have posterior pelvic tilt to properly, do a front lever. But as I was saying, calisthenics really also involves a lot of brain power. Like, you have to really think about how to manipulate each movement in order to increase or decrease the difficulty appropriately. But look at this look at this human flag progress. It has came a long ways in the past month, yeah, even the past 2 weeks. I've always really sucked at the vertical grip, like you see here. The you know, in my past, when I could kick up and hold myself like this, it was only on a horizontal grip, like the ladder you'll see in the working sets today. So this is a vertical grip, which I've always sucked with. This is my good side and my weak side, this being my good side, but I'm able to hold, I'm able to balance for a few seconds. Here is my weak side. And, you know, regardless of all these things, you know, being the weak side and being, you know, in a variation I've never been good at before, I'm able to hold on for a few seconds, you know, so that's definitely some progress to me. And I felt very comfortable there. I didn't feel like it was fatiguing myself. I didn't feel like it was hard on the joints. And part of that, I feel like, is you know, I mentioned it before in one of my previous videos, but I'm not reaching up as high on the bar to start the movement. I'm starting the movement down lower, and that makes it easier to kick up. So if I'm not putting as much effort into kicking up, I can focus more on my human flag technique. And then also, I'm trying to crunch in, trying to pull everything in closer to the bar to decrease the leverage on my body. And then, you know, once I get my balance, I can extend a bit. And, you know, in short, that's how I'm approaching the human flag right now. But there's that full back lever for, you know, maybe 1 to 3 seconds. Could have maybe got an inch or two lower than I did, but you know, not really trying to focus the back lever right now. Here's that big superset, super attempt I was talking about with the dragon flag. This will start in advanced progressions, and it will bridge down in this one attempt to easier progressions. You know, so just, you know, pick whichever one you like, and you know, happy training. Start out with some walks, go into just regular dragon flags. Here's some straddle, which I kind of skip over, but you could do straddle as well. Then there's advanced tucked. There's one leg. If you do one legs, be sure and switch legs like that between reps. That way, you know, things stay balanced on both sides of your core. Let's see, there's the fetal position, which is about as easy as you can get to do a dragon flag. And, you know, that's where I let go. It's all about shortening that lever, decreasing the amount of leverage on your core, or increasing if you need to go up in difficulty. But here we're getting into the working sets. I really impressed myself on this as well today. I've really been feeling a lot stronger and more balanced on this. Pay attention to how much height I'm getting, how much lift I'm getting on my feet and my legs. I'm trying to get into where I can get up into a V-sit, you know, even if I'm using momentum to get there. But the idea is you get up as high as you can and then try to put the brakes on and slow it down on the way down. Very similar to how I was talking about pull-up training on pull day. I can hear myself there. I was pretty fatigued. But this requires an immense amount of scapula stabilization. You know, to really make sure you're sticking your neck out and keeping those scapulas down and locked in the, you know, the safe positions. Another thing that I discovered today that really helped my form on this was pointing my toes and keeping the legs very rigid instead of allowing them to kind of flop around. I feel like that really helped clean up my technique on this as well. But there's your 2 sets for that, and then this is kind of 3 sets here, but this first attempt was a very low fatigue attempt. I was kind of just playing around. I wanted to try, you know, a full flag attempt, sort of, with that vertical grip that I was talking about. I could do in my past. Just kind of want to play around with that for a sec and see what that felt like before I got into the actual working sets with 45-degree flag holds. Kind of bumped my head a couple times when I kicked up into that position, but nothing serious. Here is more of the working sets and less of the skill for that, the mini skill practice in that previous clip. But coming off of the bar, coming off of my feet very slowly, really pulling hard with that top arm, pushing hard with that bottom arm. And the most important thing that you can keep in mind is really trying to stick your neck out, really trying to extend your neck to keep those scapulas down and protected and in the position they need to be. This second clip coming up here for this is a lot better technique. It's even better than this. I start out so slowly and I use the strength of my muscles to pull the weight, to almost just pull the weight off of my bottom foot there. Look at how slowly I'm coming out. So slowly and controlled, starting to kind of turn the hips a little bit towards the top arm. As I get stronger, that'll be how I progress in this, is I'll try to pull my hips towards the monkey bars and away from the ladder. It's very slow, graceful. See the hips turning there. That's what it's all about. That's one of my greatest discoveries, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to make that discovery. I've always thought about, it's all about power, it's all about explosiveness, it's all about, just knocking out all these reps. And there's different schools of thought for how you should train. And, I would agree to some extent that explosiveness is very helpful. But what's more important than anything and what will help you progress and be safe is to really work on your technique, really work on your control. When you saw me on those flag attempts there in those previous clips, when I come off of my feet very slowly like that, that really gives my scapulas and my various other joints and muscles and connective tissues, that really gives them an opportunity to get tension put on them slowly instead of a really sudden jerky movement. Real sudden jerky movements can greatly increases your chance of injury, and it also decreases your chance of doing things correctly and making progress. So those are things to keep in mind. If you're trying to do a skill that you can't quite get yet, try to slow it down. Try to do an easier progression and just really hammer just clean form, clean technique, doing things almost gracefully. And when you think of all this testosterone that we're fueled with, and being strong and doing all these cool things, you don't necessarily think of doing things gracefully. But if you can do things gracefully, almost in art form, you would really be surprised at how much strength it takes to move your body through these positions smoothly and controlled. And like take me for example, how much progress I've been making lately. Here is the start of my stretch out and cool down. I just kind of want to try a few pullovers and spin overs. I'll play with that some more on skill day. I'm trying to get where I can spin around the bar so fast that I come back up on the top again. It's like a quick 360. But as I talked about, I've only tried that once before, and that was really the second time I've tried that in my whole life. But I'll definitely have to practice that quite a bit before you see me succeed at that. But anyways, we're just stretching out, we're cooling down. There's a little bit of flexing. Yeah. Still got some body fat, but I'm very happy. Like I was saying, I'm very happy with the progress I've been making. Right now I'm about 204 pounds, around 95 to 100 kilograms. I feel like if I could get down to about 190, 190 pounds, you know, maybe about 90 to 95 kilograms, I feel like I would look a lot better. You know, as far as like my core, like I would have less belly fat, so to say. My body fat percentage would probably be somewhere around 15%. And that's probably about as lean as I'd want to get, you know, because after you give up, you know, so much body fat, it's very hard to maintain your strength. You know, if you do that long term, your strength kind of tends to trend down. So typically somewhere around 12 to 15% body fat is ideal to maintain your highest levels of strength. But anyways, I think we're kind of coming towards the end of the workout here. Very happy with the progress I've made, very thankful for a lot of things. You know, health is number one, our well-being, our happiness, those are number one as well. But I hope you guys learned something or anything, you know. If you have any questions or comments, advice for me, you know, please post them below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.